Hello, Dollings. I am Cassandra George Sturgis. Welcome to my channel, Authentic Beauty Handmade Dolls and Crafts. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make sneakers and a pair of no-sew shorts for your Julian sock rag doll. Thank you so much for watching. Given that Julian's foot does not have a heel, I decided to sketch out a picture of what I thought his sneaker should look like. So on a piece of paper, I drew it and I said, okay, as you see, he doesn't have what we would call a typical foot. He doesn't have toes, he doesn't have a heel. If anything, it's like a stuffed oval. So I said, okay, the shoe is going to have to do a lot of work. I need it to create the illusion of a foot, and especially something that would fit a rag doll. So you're going to need some of these eyelets, and this is embroidery thread, and this is the fabric quarters that I've been using for his shorts and his shirt, and I'm also using felt to give it a different texture. And so what you're going to do is trace the upper portion of his sneaker onto the felt, and you're going to trace it, cut it out, and then you're going to sew it to the fabric quarter, the complementary color, because what you're going to do is leave a space open so that you can turn it inside out. And this will ensure that your edges are nice and smooth, and it also gives it that nice pop of color, and it makes it look sharper and more professional. I decided to use a light blue piece of felt for the tongue for the sneakers because I wanted to show contrast. I didn't want it all to, look the same color, because what's the point of it, what's the point? So I felt that the little nice pop of color would highlight the eyelets and the shoestring and the upper portion of the shoe as well. So if you can envision, if the entire shoe was just one color, it would have a monochrome look, and it wouldn't emphasize the sneaker look. So now that I have cut out the tongue and the upper portion of the sneaker, I am going to place it on top of the fabric quarter, and make sure that you just place it like in a square that covers the fabric that you have cut out, and you're going to sew around it and leave a little portion open so that you can turn it inside out. Now back in the day, I would have cut out all of the shapes for the shoes or the pattern for the doll sneaker. I would have cut the fabric quarter out as well as the felt into that shape, and they don't line up perfectly. Like I made a pair of ladybug shoes, and I had a hard time sewing on the fabric to the felt, because I didn't realize that when fabric, it doesn't make sense to do it that way. Like, I don't know what made me think of it, but something said that because the fabric doesn't breathe and it doesn't move in the same fashion, that I shouldn't try to cut it out, leave one hole. So I thought, oh, this is going to be so cool. So as you can see in the video, I just cut out a rectangle or a square around the shape, the shoe pattern, and then I'm going to just place this on my sewing machine and sew it. And now my sewing machine is not going to jam. And oh my God, why didn't I think of this years ago? Now I'm quite sure people who know how to sew have known this, but I really just learned this. So as you can see, I sewed the sneaker pattern around the fabric quarter, and now I'm going to cut it out. I also left an opening at the toe of the shoe, and that is where I'm going to turn it inside out. I am now turning the pattern inside out. I'm using a dowel stick to help me push the corners out so that it would look nice and neat. The felt and the fabric quarters, they really work well together. I mean, I just like the contrast and the fact that they're both a pretty sturdy paper-like fabric. Like felt is not a soft and flimsy type medium, and the fabric quarters are very firm as well. And for some reason, to me, I think this makes it the perfect duo for a pair of doll sneakers, because shoes tend to have a firmness to them. So now I'm going to line up my pattern pieces toe to toe, and I am going to pin them in place to make sure that they do not move, and I am going to sew around the toe area on the wrong side, and then I am going to see, because when you sew it there, and then I'm going to flip it inside out. There we go. I am placing the front portion of the shoe back to back, and then I'm going to use my hole punch. I'm not sure what you call this, my eyelet puncher, and I'm going to place 3 holes. I'm starting at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. It is a small shoe, for a small sock rag doll. And make sure you have nice clean holes so that when you are ready to punch in the eyelets, it would fit in perfectly and look very nice and smooth. See how nice and clean those holes are? Now I'm going to get my eyelets, put it on my little eyelets pliers, I'm not sure what you call them, hole punch, and I'm going to put them in. And I think if you don't have this little eyelets, little apparatus or whatever you call it, you can just as long as you can put some holes in it, even with a pair of scissors, and you can put, excuse me, the shoestrings in it, and you'll be just fine. But this gives it like a little extra pop, a little bit more personality, make it look a little bit more real. So when you are placing the little eyelets in the pliers, I'm just going to call them pliers, you are going to see how I'm pushing it in the hole, the portion with like the little barrel on it, and then you have like the other side, which is kind of flat. You see it doesn't have a big barrel, and you're going to place that on top just like that. And then you're going to take your pliers and you're just literally going to squeeze it together. I love this so much. Sometimes I just want to think of things that I can make using this. I think I made a dress, a blue jean, a denim dress for one of my dolls, just so I could use this. I mean, it's so cute. And then once you put the embroidery thread in it, or shoestrings, I don't know, like it's just, it looks really fashionable, or yeah, like it has a very very nice fashionable look about it. I am going to use white foam, I think is it foam? Yes, the white thin foam, and I am going to cut like a half circle and to place over the toe to make it look a little bit more authentic. And I'm also going to tack down the tongue because I want the pop of color on the other side to show. When sewing this portion of the tongue, I do not take the needle all the way through the front. I literally, since it's two pieces of fabric together, I just tack the thread. I take the needle and thread right through the back, like the one piece of fat quarter, and then I don't go through the front portion of the top portion of the tongue because I don't want the thread to show. I am now cutting out a piece of white foam, and I just measured it against the shoe to make sure it would fit the tip of the toe portion of his sneaker. And I am going to hot glue it to the shoe, to the sneaker. I suggest that you use a low setting hot glue gun when applying the tip of the white portion for the sneakers. I'm not sure what you call it, guys. Now we are ready to lace the shoes using a piece of embroidery thread. These shoes were very fun and easy to make, and in no time you'll be trying to think of, like, who else can I make a pair of sneakers for? The video for the no-sew sock ragdoll shorts are going to follow after the sneakers. If you were only interested in watching the sneakers, thank you so much for watching. However, if you would like to see how I made Julian's no-sew shorts, please keep watching. I know there's a doll inside of you who is just dying to come to life, but only you can breathe life into her. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the next portion, I'm going to go over how to make no-sew shorts for your boy sock ragdoll. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. In order to make the no-sew shorts for your sock ragdoll, you're going to trace the pattern onto a piece of folded fabric quarter. Now you could fold it into twice, and there would be like a, I don't know, 4 pieces together. But just folding it in half, cutting out the fabric, you're going to have 2 legs, just like the one shown in the video. And you're going to cut it out on the fold of the fabric. Now, even though I chose to use my lovely fabric fuse for this project, I want you to know it would be a lot faster to sew these shorts. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, why would I glue this? I mean, because it takes time for it to dry. It's not a hard thing to do. But if, I don't know, some people, like even me sometimes, when I'm using my sewing machine, it feels intimidating. So all you're going to do is pretty much glue the edges together and just follow the instructions in the video, where you're going to, because there's one portion where you're going to have to glue the seat together, like the J area. So, but the first thing you want to do is make sure that you fold the hem of the bottom portion of the shorts, so that the shorts will have a nice polished look. Make sure you leave enough space at the top, because what you're going to do is fold the top portion over. You're going to glue it and leave enough space for an elastic to go in the middle, because you want it to fit his waist nicely. I was having a hard time figuring out which was the right side or which was the wrong side, because this particular fabric quarter, both sides looked pretty beautiful and had a nice rich color. So at some point I just said, whatever. I am laying both of the pieces together because I want to make sure that both legs of the shorts are the exact same length. As you can see in the video, I am gluing the top portion of the shorts pants leg together. And once this dries, I am going to fold it out and I am going to glue the area in the middle of the shorts pants leg. So as you see in the video, I am now gluing the middle portion of the shorts for the sock rag doll. I am now folding over the top portion of the shorts because I want to prepare space in order to put the elastic in. So as you can see, I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to use my fabric fuse glue to just glue the edges down, and I'm going to leave myself about maybe 1.5 inches of space open, and this is the area where I'm going to use the elastic to go through the pants, the shorts, I'm sorry. Again, like I said, making these shorts using your sewing machine would have been a lot faster, but I think in the future I'm going to use my fabric fuse glue to whenever I want to use an elastic in the waist, because I like the fact that the thread doesn't show on the other side, because sometimes picking the right thread when you have fabric that is multicolors can be very tricky, and most of the time the thread that shows on the right side, I'm usually not that happy with it. Like, it's very difficult when there are so many different colors. This is the opening that I'm going to use to place the elastic in the waist of the shorts. Now what I'm going to do is take a piece of wire, a floral wire that I bought from the dollar store because it's very flexible and it bends easy, and I am going to cut a little piece off, but make sure that whatever piece of wire that you use, make sure that it is a nice enough length to go around the circumference of the of the shorts. And I'm going to fold the ends, and I'm going to stick up at one end of the floral wire into my elastic, and I'm going to use it to loop through the waist of the shorts. Now what's interesting is that I actually have equipment. I don't know what you call it, but I don't know if you call it a turner, but I do have something that helps you to put elastic and strings into various clothing objects, but I have no idea of where I placed it. And I know sometimes people use a safety pin and work it through the opening, but that piece of floral wire was next to my computer, and I thought this is going to work, and guys, it works like a charm. floral wire is very soft and flexible, and it will not ruin your fabric, especially if you do not let the ends stick into the fabric. But some wire is very firm and strong, and I wouldn't use it in my doll clothes or in my because you want something soft. So once I used the wire to loop it through, I pulled the elastic ends together and I put it in a nice little knot. I tied it 2 or 3 times, and then I clipped the ends, and then I just wiggled the floral wire outside of the little space for the elastic waistband. Now the portion that I left open in order to place the elastic in, I am now gluing that together. So I placed his shorts around my vitamins, the bottle of the vitamins, and now I'm just gluing that little area closed. I know there's a doll inside of you who is just dying to come to life, but only you can breathe life into her. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.